Okay, welcome back! I'm really sorry for delaying this video. The DLC dropped earlier than anyone expected. I, in fact, did not make it in time, plus I had some real life work to solve first. Anyways, this video was planned before Future Redeem, so it will not contain any spoilers, not even music from the game, nor an analysis of what we got right or wrong about its geography or story-wise. For that we'll have another video. That being said, let's press on. First things first, thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We have surpassed 100 subscribers. I'll continue making and improving my content. In order to celebrate, the plan was to make a cake based on those 5 seconds where they showed us the DLC map. Obviously, I had to fill in the gaps with some imagination, but in this video I will show you the process involved with the cake. This isn't a cooking channel, so I can be wrong or imprecise. You will hear, however, the ingredients and see them in action. The process took 4 nights in total, both because of my schedule and because I always get the inspiration to do stuff late at night. But for cakes, it is good to let them rest, so it doesn't get too dry, and the flavors can settle in correctly, so this is not an issue. For the first night, it all began with a draft of the terrain to measure the size and the shape of the cake, based on the small sections of what we saw. Then we have to cook. To bake, more precisely, we'll need 250 grams of flour, 250 grams of sugar, 35 milliliters of cooking oil, 35 milliliters of milk, 5 eggs, 10 grams of baking powder, and 5 milliliters of vanilla essence. First, we prepare the sponge cake. We separate the white of the egg and the yolk, obviously discarding the shell. Beat the egg whites into a firm peak and little by little adding 200 grams of sugar until we get a dense substance. Then, we preheat the oven to 175 Celsius. After that, we beat the yolk with the remaining 50 grams of sugar until it gets spongy and add vanilla, milk and the oil. Once ready, we mix in the previously made substance made with the white of the egg and the flour, little bits alternating them one at a time. Butter the tray or cake mold, pour the resulting substance on it and bake for 60 minutes. Once that is done, turn it off, open the hatch and let it cool for a bit. Draw your desired shape and then leave it in the fridge for the rest of the night. That concludes part 1. For the second night, we just need the additional cake we baked before, some translucent jelly, blue colorant, homemade peach jam, as we have a tree, and manjar or dulce de leche, an Argentinian or Chilean sweet that is basically like milk caramel sauce. Additionally, some pre-cut peach cubes and juice. First, let's cut the shaped cake in half, horizontally, and spread some peach cubes and juice, followed by a layer of dulce de leche. This will keep the cake wet and flavory. Next, we stick the halves together and with the previously drawn area, we extract some crumbs and spread some blue colorant. A first general layer, then a heavier one in the center and so on, to create the illusion of depth. After that, we prepare the transparent jelly with some hot water. Once it is ready, we spread it and voila, we got ourselves a nice Raguel lake. After that, we need to prepare the terrain. Let's start with the hold one. We carve the general shape, add some lower layers to give it some height, we cut some mountain-shaped cake, cut it in half or just a hole depending on its shape, and fill it in with dulce de leche, peach jam or both. We then use the dulce de leche as a glue to keep them in place. Some rocks will require more layers, while others just a thin one. We prepare where the unidentified arcs and its buildings go, with a slight slope, We prepare the cliffs where the Ragel bridge will go. We add a tiny pointy rock at the top of this one, prepare an empty space that will lead us to the snow area, and call it a day. Onto the fridge. Dawn of the third day. Today we'll get our hands dirty. And this will be the most fulfilling day as we get closer to the final product. We need Nutella, a brush, some chip-shaped candies, and some fondant powder, plus cooking oil and water, and more cake for additional rocks. First, we add the small water area with ruins as a dock and falling water by adding layers of cake and jam, putting some blue colorant on the jam to make it look waterier. I failed here. Make the ruins or dock with the sour candy bars. After that we prepare the base for the big mountain by doing layers yet again. 2 sections almost like 2 sandwiches. And add them behind the mountain base. And now, onto the good stuff. We grab some spoons of Nutella, out them into a bowl with a little bit of water, and microwave it in order to get a slimer consistency instead of the sticky dense one, so the brush doesn't drag crumbs or destroy the mountains. We use the brush to spread Nutella on these rocks to give them texture, color and solidity. After covering the mountains, we start to prepare the fondant. The instructions say a specific small amount of oil, saying that we should not add more and that it may look insufficient, and I wasn't satisfied at first.
As they say, seeing is believing.
After kneading it for a while, it started to get shape and ready to take on the world. We need to cut 3 portions, one to stay white and for different shades of green for the grass and slightly darker green for bushes, respectively. Using the blue and yellow colorants, we stamp it, smash it, knead it, and then cut some thin regular layers and place them gently on the corresponding sections. And for the darker one, we cut balls and tiny fragments and throw them onto the mountains. Additionally, with more sour candy bars, specifically 2, we make the Ragel bridge by cutting it in half horizontally to make it thinner and the other into 2 fragments that we will divide horizontally to make the pillars. And this Coke bottle-like candy is cut into a prism shape to make the mysterious building. We put it into the fridge and go to bed. Final night. All that is left to do is the Black Mountain, the side ones and the snowy mountain area on the right. Same process as before. We cut the shape based on the trailer, a spiky tall one in the front right with snow and specially filled with lots of jam, and smaller ones at the bottom, with one of them having a flat top. We add the back mountain to the base we prepared and fill all the fissures with extra jam and peach cubes. For the others, we first find their approximate location and then we start to fill them with dulce de leche or jam and make a not confirmed connection between the land masses. Along with that, we prepare some chantilly cream based on the instructions of the package, which I lost and cannot explain properly. I remember cutting the powder and some pre-cooled milk on the blender, but you can buy some either way. We put the white fondant on the ice sections and complete it with this chantilly cream, which can also work as the clouds that cover some rocks and the uncertain terrain that I prepared on the left side next to the mountain. I didn't like how the later green fondant patches looked like, so a small portion of the chantilly cream was put on a different bowl and turned green with the colorants, in order to patch this. We take some cool pictures out of pride and put it into the fridge one last time. so the chantilly cream settles, the cake absorbs all the jam flavor, and the chantilly cream solidifies a little bit or stops shining. And the next day, after lunch, we got ourselves a nice little dessert. Unfortunately for these sweet Aionios, we are hungry, so some big annihilation events will take place here, in this land pierced by a great knife. Before you go, a couple of announcements. First,
We've got a winner!
according to the poll, the next video will be a Xenogears references in the whole Xenoblade franchise, including X and Future Redeemed. However, I will work on that and another video at the same time, as I wasn't able to make the second and final trailer analysis in time, but I still need to do one about what we got right and wrong about our predictions and geography, plus some cool lore and details that some may have missed, some plot holes explained, and some theories on what's to come, along with a general timeline of the Aionios Chronicles, as the base game covers the end of this arc and Future Redeemed as a prequel of it. But it didn't cover the beginning, so a third of this arc is missing information. All of those ideas sound messy, I know, but I don't have many big reports or projects at work, or at least not that I know of.
I see a storm on the horizon.
Secondly, once again, a massive thank you for the support. If we keep on growing, I have an idea for the next big project, but let's not count our chickens before the eggs hatch, or something like that. I wonder what else we could do here. Would you like to see more kitchen experiments? Another updated, more detailed Aionios model? Already gathering materials, by the way? Projects related to Xenoblade 1, 2 or X? Ace Sword? Other games? Your comments are appreciated. But seriously speaking, I would appreciate if you shared this video, as this time I invested some ingredients and not recycled materials like in the previous video, although I put its fair share of effort in both of them. I don't get anything except more confidence to keep on going, improving my voice little by little, or at least I hope so. Anyways, that will be it for today. Have a good one.